Hi, I'm Delusion Dispeller. A while back I had made a video regarding who I am because I thought people might like to know me as a person instead of just this name, Delusion Dispeller. So my actual name is Laura Beth Villarreal, and yes, Laura Beth is all one word legally. It used to be Laura with Beth as a middle name, but I changed it when I got remarried. You're allowed to do that, I guess, I found out. So anyhow, I live in Illinois in a nice little area and kind of half country, half rural. We got the best of both worlds. We have a neighbor behind us that has roosters and chickens and I think some kind of lambs or goats or something, I don't know. We have beautiful wildlife around here, raccoons and possums, and yes, even garter snakes. And it's just a very nice place to be. And then real close to us also, we have the rural area, which is the main street where all the cars are and the stores and the plazas and the mall and that kind of stuff. So, like I said, the best of both worlds. Anyways, that's my cat Carmine sitting in the background up on the speaker. And I thought he would be a cute little backdrop. Anyways, I was born in Buffalo, New York in 1966 to my mom and my dad. At 3 years old, my mom divorced my dad, and of course I was too young to remember much of anything at 3 years old, little bits and pieces maybe. And I remember my dad used to pick us up, my brother and I, for visitation till I was about maybe 4 years old. When I was 4 years old, all I remember was he promised us to take us to like an amusement park and everything, and that didn't pan out for some reason or another. And my mom says I was standing on the porch screaming and insisting, no, my daddy will come, my daddy always keeps his promises, he'll be here to take us. And he didn't. He would appear sporadically throughout the years after that, but I'll get into that later. Anyways, my mom remarried when I was 7, and I saw my dad till I was about 4 years old, and then sporadically he would appear on the corner near the pharmacy. We used to call them drugstores back then. Or he would appear near the schoolyard. Like I'd get out of school and there would be my dad standing there. This made my childhood seem very surreal and imaginary to me. And after a few years of seeing my dad pop up, he suddenly stopped appearing till I was a teenager waiting for the bus. And then when he appeared there, it was just kind of odd because I stood there waiting for the bus and all of a sudden I hear Laura. And I turn around and he goes, don't you know who I am? And I said, no, should I? I mean, I was like 15 years old or 16. He said, I'm your dad. And I'm like, oh, Dad. And then I turned around and gave him a hug and ran home after school and told my mom about it. And she said, oh yeah, he's going to just appear now and confuse you after all these years. And, you know, he's not doing anything with you, so don't get any ideas. And, you know, I've learned years later that that's just how it is in divorce situations. You always hear two different stories, two different sides of a story, and you really don't know what to believe as a kid. You just know that you wish things were different and that everything could be like happy ever after, like the fairy tales where mom and dad get along and you're one big happy family. Anyway, my mom remarried when I turned 7. And things went okay until I was about 16 years old and we relocated to a house that was badly in need of repair. My mom lost a baby around that time, and that was very hard on the whole family. And doctors believe that that kicked my stepdad's mental illness into full gear. And he did a lot of weird things all along, like he'd wrap up odd gifts. He'd take boxes and put boxes inside boxes inside boxes. And then by the time he got to the smallest box, there was a used cigarette wrapper with little trinkets in it and stuff. So, anyways, oh, somebody was calling me on my phone. My husband was telling me. Okay, anyways, I'll get that in a minute. So there were little trinkets inside this little used cigarette wrapper, and we were supposed to be all excited about that because to him, that was a normal gift. Being mentally ill, he didn't really have a real good way of understanding what good gifts were and stuff like that. So another thing he did was he would dig through my garbage can because he thought I was writing letters against him. So he was very paranoid. He would give us old clothes. He gave my children old clothes from like yard sales that were dirty and smelly and just holes in them, and thought those were great gifts. And my grandmother would say, just humor him, you know, let him think that he did a good thing, because he didn't understand. His brain was deteriorating by that time, and he just wasn't thinking straight. So anyway, like I said, we believed he was odd all along, but back then we had never heard of obsessive compulsive disorder or obsessive compulsive personality disorder or paranoid schizophrenic, or schizophrenia, sorry, tongue twister there. So we just thought he was weird and eccentric, and that's how everybody thought of Dad. I'm going to tell you more on the next video, so stay tuned.